Welcome back to Holy Fire Defense. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing, better yet an uncasing, on a Springfield Armory St. Victor 308. Not a 5.56, but a 308. I've been wanting to get this gun for a very long time. It was always out of stock. I was even willing to settle for the AR-15 version, the 5.56. I was willing to take that, but that was never in stock either. So the first thing that came up was the 308, which I was actually glad because that's what I wanted, because I already have a lot of 5.56s. I have the 7.62 by 39s, which is the AK. So the 308, I have one 308 that's a hunting rifle, so I was glad to get this. But now let's take a look at it before I put the upgrades on it. Now, what I will say is some of it I have put the M-locks and the Picatinny rails on here to be able to mount stuff, because one thing about this gun is the rail right here, there is none. Where there would be a rail, there is no rail. So, but on the sides you have the M-lock slot, so I had already put the rails on with the M-locks so I could put whatever I want on here, which I would want to put stuff on here. I don't like it just bare. It has the sling M-locks on it already for the sling. But yeah, this is the St. Victor 308. Now right now it's about almost 8 pounds, like 7.9 pounds or whatever. Oh, and I did put the recoil pad on it too. So I had to do that. But now we're going to put the upgrades on it and take a look at it. But like I said, I wanted this gun for a long time. It has the iron sights on it, as you can see. This one's just folded back, but there. So those are already on there. Now the other Saint that I have is the regular Springfield Armory Saint, the one with the more of a M16 style sight, and looks M16ish, point blank. So I wanted to get this one. I like the longer handguard here in the rail. Now, so they both look different. Like I said, one has more of an M16 platform, and this one has more of an AR platform. So, but this is considered more like an AR-10. Now, once you put the upgrades on it, this gun is going to get heavier. It's just the way it goes, though. Because you got to have your optics and things like that. Me, I like to have my lights. I like to have a sling on it. So when we come back, we're going to check out the accessories that I put on the gun and hopefully be able to give you guys some ideas on what you might want to put on your gun. Voila. So here it is with its accessories. What I have here is, this is a sniper scope optic. Comes in this box. It's about $300. I chose this because right now I just paid for the gun, plus I paid all the taxes on the gun. So it has the scope optic, has the laser, and it has the red dot on the top. So it's everything that you need. So if you want to go out, you have to shoot long range, you got that covered. Up close, you got the red dot right here. So I think it's pretty good. Like I said, it's not no top-notch scope or anything, or optic, but it's what works for me right now. So that's what I'm using. This is the Odin Olight with the, see? And I put that on there because all my guns, I have to have a light. You know what I'm saying? If it's dark or whatever, I want to make sure that I can light it up. I could be able to see whatever I have to shoot at or whatever's going on. I want to make sure that it's illuminated. And this, of course, is the sling. Always got to have a sling on my guns, because you don't know what kind of situation you're going to be in. You don't know if all hell's going to break loose tomorrow, and you might have to be having your gun on you and you're walking long distances or whatever else. You don't want to just be packing the gun around. You want to be able to sling it over your shoulder, or who knows, you might be out hunting or anything, any of those things. But I always want to keep a sling on my guns. Not all of them have them, but most of them do, and I recommend having a sling just in case, you know. But this is the Springfield Armory St. Victor 308. It's a really nice looking gun. You got to admit that. It's an AR-10, and to have a 308 in an AR platform, I think is amazing. I love it. I really think that this is a good idea, because if you look at it, the 308 bullets, if you can see how big these things are, you know, they're huge. For hunting, it's a great gun. For self-defense, it's a great gun. I mean, you can't beat it. And the caliber of it is really impressive. So it's like, it's a good gun to have. Something that you would want. And you can get up to like 1,000 yards with the 308 projectile. So that's pretty darn good. So this thing can go long distance. Like I said, I'm glad I got this gun. I've been wanting it. I finally got it. Let me know what you guys think about this gun in the comments. So I finally got this gun after all this time trying to get it. And I've really been trying to get it now for probably a good year. I've been trying to get a hold of this gun. And finally it said, oh, in stock. And when it said it was in stock, I had the money to go ahead and get it at that time. So I was happy, because other times it was in stock and I didn't have the money at that time. So it's like, okay, because it gets pretty expensive when you're paying huge tax on guns. But I'm glad I was able to get my hands on it, and now it's part of the family. So I'm glad that we have it. And another thing too I like about Springfield Armory is, you know, you buy your guns, you get these cases with it. So that's cool. Yeah, so I bought the Mossberg 590M, and that thing didn't come with nothing. You know, you're lucky if you get a cardboard box for it to come in. So when you get a case with your gun, that's always a good thing. I mean, I appreciate that. Also, I wanted to show you, if you look on here, probably can't see it right now, but if you have one of these, it says Springfield Armory since 1794. Now, I got really excited when I heard that. I was like, really? 1794? Our first American factory for manufacturing guns was Springfield Armory. So I was like, whoa, this place is ancient. It goes back all that time to the founding fathers, to the beginning of our country, to the American Revolution. I was like, wow. But then I did further research, and this company is not the original company, of course. The original company was shut down because the government said they didn't have enough money at the time to keep funding it or whatever. I think that was like in 1968. And then in 1974, the Reese family decided to take on the Springfield Armory name and start making guns. And that's where we get Springfield Armory from now. But they took the name from back then. So it's a great, really good history behind it. Just having that name is a lot of history behind it. And I really like that, because it gives you a look into how our country started and what our country was about. You know, when Washington came and he was gathering up people to start fighting the British, there was already militias at that time, you know, that guarded their little towns and stuff like that. But he told the men, he said, go get your guns and meet me back here. And that's literally how the American Army, the Union, began. By these guys going home and getting their guns and coming back and joining with George Washington, and they started fighting. Imagine if they didn't have no guns at home to go get. See, that's what the Second Amendment's based on. If they did not have those firearms, how were they going to rise up against tyranny? How were they going to rise up against their oppressors, which were the British? So, thank God for the Second Amendment. And those men went home and they got their guns and they went to war with the British. And I just thought that was amazing, because a lot of times we have our guns and we feel like we have to justify owning our guns by saying, oh, it's for self-defense. Oh, it's this. If you look at the Constitution, you look at the Bill of Rights, you look at the Second Amendment, these things are in place for a reason. And we were given our guns from the very beginning. People owned their own guns and their own homes. And when it was time, they came together and they fought off a tyrannical invader. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that came in. They were like a parasite, a foreign object that wasn't supposed to be here. You know, this is America, and these people here wanted their freedom. So like I said, it just thank God that those men were able to go and get their guns. And just like us now, in America, it is our right, God-given right, it is our right through the Constitution, through the Second Amendment, to bear arms, and it shall not be infringed upon. And anybody that wants to take away your arms does not have good intentions. Anybody that wants to go against the Constitution, the amendments, and everything that goes with the founding of this country They do not have good intentions because the forefathers put it in place for a reason. It was to keep us strong, to keep us built up. And if anything rose up that was against that Constitution, that was against freedom, so these things were put in place that those things can be torn down. They want to try to justify everything. It has too many rounds. Oh, those are assault weapons. Oh, those are used for war. There's no semi-automatic weapons being used by the United States Army or any other army that I know for war. They're all full autos. So these are not weapons of war. And so what if they were? Does it matter? When those men went home and they got their muskets, those became weapons in the war. That made them bad guns. That made them those were regular citizens that armed up and joined George Washington and formed a militia, which became the Union Army, and they fought against tyranny. That's what makes America so great. And they know that taking away guns from law-abiding citizens does not stop crime in America. Because last time I checked, people don't follow the law that commit crimes. They're not going to go buy a gun that's in their name and commit a robbery and shoot somebody with it so it can be traced right back to them. That's just common sense. That's stupid. When you see the lies, know that they're lies. When I was younger and I was a kid, I would have never thought I'd seen this day. I mean, I was worried about outside things like Russia and war and stuff like that, the Cold War and nukes and all that stuff back then. But I didn't know that our country would start turning on itself. It's just crazy. But regardless, one thing COVID showed me, that anything can happen in an instant. So don't get comfortable. Don't think that everything's hunky-dory. It's not. COVID showed us that the world could change in an instant. I could be sitting here right now just talking to you guys, and the next thing I know, there's enemy troops parachuting out of the sky onto the ground. There's a missile in the sky coming towards us. There's a huge outbreak. There's an earthquake that cracks the United States in half. There's so many variables and factors that can kick off at any given moment. It's like you got to keep your eyes open. You got to keep your eyes open and focus on God and what you need to do, because we need to protect our families. We need to protect each other. Just got to keep your eyes open. It's real crazy, and stuff can kick off at any given moment. When you got your own country working against you, America's usually, as long as I can remember, America's been patriotic, and now it's like they hate the place they live. They hate the flag. They hate everything about America. Why are they here then? Because they're evil. They want to destroy our freedoms and our structures. They want to destroy it. And you would say, well, why would anybody in their right mind want to destroy a democracy, destroy freedom? We see other countries that are ran on communism, and we see how they're ran, and they see that those people are starving, they're persecuted and all. Why would we want that? What person with all their faculties would want something like that? No one. So if they want it, you know they're evil. Because when you get to the point where you don't even want good for yourself, you just want destruction, like Tucker Carlson said, that's supernatural. That's evil. And we better watch out for it. Stop going for the okie doke. And everybody's about to start voting. And you better vote Trump. Quit playing all these little games, because if this ship sinks, you're on it. Don't think because of you're siding with the wicked, everything's going to be okay for you. It's not. If this country falls, everybody in this country is going to be in a world of hurt. Better think about it. Don't vote for somebody because it's the trend. When I was watching some of the college kids, I was amazed by how brainwashed they are. No value system. Everything that they think is right is wrong. They think that sticking up for this or that is the righteous thing to do, when it's actually the wicked thing to do. It's crazy, man. But when you indoctrinate kids, that's why they want to get into your schools. That's why they want men with wigs on and stuff reading to your kids. Because they want to indoctrinate them as children, so when they grow up, these weeds, these roots of bitterness and wickedness grow up with them, and get around their neck and choke them and confuse them. It's indoctrination. But anyways, Springfield Armory, St. Victor, 308. If you don't have one, I suggest you get one. It's a nice gun. Holy Fire Defense. Make sure you like and subscribe.